Hello Year 3, this is the maths video for the 10th of June, which is a Wednesday. It looks a little bit different to the ones that you're used to seeing. We have had a huge number of technical problems with our computing and IT at school this week. So the video that I had put together for you, we're not able to get it up on YouTube. So I am at the moment in my kitchen at home. I'm just going to do the best I can with what I've got here, and hopefully it is enough to help you with the work on the website for Wednesday and Thursday this week. So Monday and Tuesday we were looking at tenths and how we show those as decimals. Today and tomorrow we are looking at being able to identify fractions on a number line, and it's the same idea behind Wednesday's work and Thursday's. So what I've got here for you is some examples of the questions from the work on the website, and there are a couple of things I would like just to explain to you. Hopefully that will help you with your work over the next couple of days. So the first thing to mention with the number line work is this example here. Now on Wednesday's work, the first sheet, which is the easier of the three sheets, has above each number line these little diagrams. You can see this one here, it's circles, and there are different sections shaded in pink. The second and the third worksheets don't have these diagrams. They're just there on the first worksheet to help you. As you can see with this example here, we have a number line that starts at 0 and then goes up to the first whole number, which is 1, and then goes up to a second whole number, which is 2. And in between the whole numbers, you can see there are some fractions. We've got a quarter, 2 quarters and 3 quarters. Then we get to 1 whole, which would be 4 quarters. And then we have 1 whole and a quarter, 1 whole and 2 quarters, a missing one here, and then the number 2, 2 whole ones at the end. Now, the questions for today, there's lots of similarities between all of them, and they are to do with identifying missing numbers on a fractions number line. You can see here the missing number is this one, and there is a diagram there to help you. So the question says, what fraction is the arrow pointing to on this number line? And the diagram you can see there shows you 1 whole diagram there, where each of the parts is shaded in pink, and then a second circle at the top, and only 3 of the 4 parts have been shaded in pink. So what we would do, I'm just going to try my best to write on this presentation as I am talking. What we would need to do is we would need to say that there is 1 whole one. It's not going to work actually, I don't think. I might just have to talk you through it. There is 1 whole one, as you can see with the previous examples here, 1 whole one, and then on the second diagram, only 3 of the 4 equal parts have been shaded in, and that would show their 3 quarters. So altogether, we've got 1 and 1 quarter, 1 and 2 quarters. The next one here would be 1 and 3 quarters. And like I said, on the whole of the first worksheet, we've got these little diagrams here above the questions. It's a visual representation to help you find the missing numbers on the number line. There's another example on the second of the questions. I'm just going to hopefully be able to show you. There we go. So this is another number line. You can see there are the diagrams at the top. Slightly different question. This one says write the fraction in the gap on the number line. So rather than an arrow pointing, there's just a gap there. And we've got 1 whole 1 again. This number line doesn't start from 0. This number line starts from 1. And the gap is straight away. And then we have 1 2/4, 1 3/4, and then 2 whole 1s at the end. You can either work out the missing number here by using the number line, or you can go up to the diagrams at the top. You can see the diagram where the number is missing. We have 1 whole circle there with all the parts shaded in. And on the second circle here, we just have 1 of those 4 sections shaded in. So it would be 1 whole and 1/4, that missing 1 there. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Now, on the second and third sheets on Wednesday's work, like I mentioned earlier, there are no diagrams. You just have the number line with the missing numbers. And there's a little tip I can give you to help you still be able to work out the answers to the questions. This one says, what fraction is the arrow pointing to on this number line? And the tip I am going to give you is to always look at the denominator of the fractions in this kind of question. You can see on this number line here, you've got your whole numbers, 0, 1 and 2, and the fractions all have the same denominator. In this case, it is fifths. And something else that's important to notice is that because the denominator is fifths, there are 5 sections between each of the whole numbers. So between 0 and 1, there are 5 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then between 1 and 2, the whole numbers, there are also 5 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you will notice that for every question like this, the number that is the denominator, that number will be the same as the number of sections between each of the whole numbers. And if you can remember that and understand that, it will really help you with this kind of question. So, this part of the number line is all filled in. We need to look at this part here. So we have the whole number 1. Then we have 1 and 1/5. 1 and 2/5. Then there's a gap. Then we have 1 and 4/5. And then we have 2 whole 1s, which would be 1 and 5/5. So you need to find this missing number here. If you look at the numerators, you can see we have 1, 2, 3 would be in that gap, and then we have 4, and then the numerator would be 5/5 for number 2. So that arrow there is pointing to 1 whole and 3/5 of a fraction. This is the last question I'm going to show you. It's very, very similar to the previous one. Again, it is the number line. This time, it only shows you the fractions between 2 whole numbers. So number 1 over here and number 2 over here. And the next thing we need to do is look at the denominator. In this case, the denominator for the fractions we've got there is 7. So this number line shows you sevenths. And we should be able to check, because the denominator is sevenths, there should be 7 sections between number 1 and number 2. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we've got 3 numbers to fill in here, and the first 2 are the ones that are missing. Then we've got 1 and 3/7, 1 and 4/7, and then another gap, and then 1 and 6/7. I think the easiest one to fill in first is actually this one here at the end, between 1 and 4/7 and 1 and 6/7, because we have got the missing number there that stands out to us is 5. So this one here would be 1 whole, and then 5/7 would fit very nicely between 4/7 and 6/7. And then what we can do to work out these ones over here is to go backwards with our counting. So before 1 and 3/7 would come 1 and 2/7, and before that would come 1 and 1/7. Okay, hopefully that's made sense. Once again, we are really sorry that the video we have already put together is not able to be posted on YouTube. Like I said, we've had lots of technical problems. So I've done the best that I can in a short space of time without many resources. But hopefully this has been a bit of a help for Wednesday's work and Thursday's work also. And we've got arithmetic for you on Friday, and we're back with more fractions next week. See you soon. Bye.